Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is Friday. Another good fucking day to be alive, man. This is Anything Goes with Joe, the podcast that y'all not only been waiting for, but damn, we finally fucking did it, bro. Damn, man, the podcast that kind of is. I feel like honestly, man, if I'm being real with you, bro, it's all about manifestation, bro. I think this is gonna be one of the podcasts that you guys turn on and you guys are just gonna be like, yo, what the heck? Like, this is crazy. So sorry for the noises in the background. I'm kind of out and about, which is kind of different in a sense, in its own way too, because a lot of people, they have their own headquarters and stuff like that. Man, I ain't gonna front with you, man. I don't got it like that, but that don't mean we ain't gonna get there, bro. We all gotta start somewhere, and I think that that's what I'm trying to do right now. So with that being said, man, the longly awaited podcast, bro, it is Anything Goes with Joe, bro. The place where you could just kind of come to and like vibe with without having to worry about like any type of judgment or any type of backlash, anything of that nature, bro. I am an open book, bro, and I'm all about just trying to progress, just like everybody else, because that's all we got. That's all we got to do in life, man. That's our one objective in life, is just to be able to be positive and spread positivity, not only amongst each other, but amongst ourselves, too. It starts with ourselves, We can't be positive. We can't put positive stuff out there without being able to see it within ourselves, So with that being said, we're going to dive right into it, man. The main thing I want to do right now is just tell you guys kind of the behind the scenes of how everything kind of came about. And not only that, but I also want to kind of, tell you guys what my expectations are and what I plan on doing with this channel, with this opportunity, with this platform, So, yeah, with that being said, man, I'm Joe. I am 24 years old, man. I got diagnosis called cerebral palsy. I don't like the term disability. I really don't, honestly. I think that because I feel like it's so like I just don't like titles. You know what I mean? Like, titles to me are like, it's just like, it's so pointless. I feel like, because like, for one, like, we all kind of have our own little struggles that we go through and stuff like that. So to put a title on it, I just think that it's just like, I don't know. To me, I guess like it's just kind of like demeaning. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like overthinking it or something. But let me know down in the comment section how you feel about that situation. Because truth be told, man, like, throughout my whole entire life, it's always just been like, oh, disabled this and you're disabled. Like, disabled to me means like limitations, and I don't like the word. Like, I don't like the feeling of like people thinking that you have limitations. I mean, because in reality, like, we all have our own limitations, right? So it's like, why put it in the category of like, oh, this person is disabled? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense, man. And if it doesn't, I'm sorry. But basically, like I said, dude, I'm honestly just trying to create a platform, man, where you could just come to and vibe with it, and that's just like my whole thing. Like, aside from being disabled and stuff, and like being a voice for them, because that's ultimately what I'm trying to do, is just be a voice at the end of the day. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean that it's like specifically for people with disabilities or just for people with disabilities. I think it's like more for like anybody. I just want to create a space where people could come to and feel comfortable with the idea of talking about how it is that they feel. Whether it be about life, whether it be about the happy moments, the bad moments, like all of that. I want to know about all of that, and I want you guys to be able to have a space to come to and like know that people are going to support you. So yeah, dude, with that being said, man, like, Anything Goes with Joe was kind of founded on the idea of me wanting to do something. I wanted to do something that involved, giving back to people, excuse me, and kind of being a voice for people, as well. So, and it's crazy how it comes full circle, though, because when I was little, I kind of wanted to be a radio guy. I wanted to be the dude on the radio. I wanted to kind of like, I wanted to play for Power 106 with Big Boy. I wanted to be up there with Big Boy, man, because I looked up to him so heavily. And then, lo and behold, a few years later, this was like back when I was like 8 years old, 10 years old. You know what I'm saying? So it was like in my youngin' days, right? And so it's like, fast forward, now we got this platform. Now, media has expanded and stuff like that, and now we have a platform where we can just kind of like be, just talk about whatever. And I think that that was a perfect opportunity for me because it gave me the opportunity to just kind of like step out of my shell, so yeah, lo and behold, that's when I started talking with my family amongst my family to try to figure out what would be a good like title and stuff, because we talked that we before. I don't know if you guys remember, but I was also doing Facebook lives, and I would do those like constantly and stuff. And I think a lot of you guys like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I would do it like every week. And then so I was kind of already dabbling in it in a sense, right? But I just didn't have like a platform where I could just kind of create. At least I didn't think I did, right? But then, like, as time went on and stuff like that, I started to venture out in different things. I started to come up with new ideas and stuff. And then, I was talking again with my family, like I said, and then they said, "Why don't you try to do a podcast?" And before, when I heard the idea, I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if that's going to be like a good idea or like a good fit, because I didn't really know if I would be able to like keep up with it or whatever, So, and on top of that, I've never done anything like this before. So it was all new to me. But it kind of excited me though, because like, I knew it was like a challenge. Like, I knew it was a challenge that I could potentially adapt to and kind of create something out of it. So I said, you know what, why not give it a chance, And I actually, for those of you that don't know, I actually tried this out before, and I ended up like losing faith in it because of the fact that like I didn't think that like a lot of people really cared I didn't think people cared about what it was that I had to say, so I just kind of like gave up on it. And it was just like, whatever about it. But then, like, I don't know, it was like once I started it, it was just something that kept pulling at me, bro. It was like, yo, like, and then I had people hitting me up and was like, yo, like, what happened to the podcast? Like, come back to it, let's get it, let's make it happen and stuff. And I would always be like, yeah, like maybe one day, or and sometimes I'd just be like, nah, that shit's fucking dead. I ain't doing nothing with that. So yeah, no, and then, but I realized that I was just kind of doing it to myself though. Like, I would just kind of create scenarios in my head that weren't even real, you know what I'm saying? And like make it like nobody really gave a fuck, And all that was just in my head, like, cause at the end of the day, when I had people hitting me up, that was something that was crazy, like I didn't even think nobody really cared to listen to it, but that just comes to show, like, it doesn't matter how many times you fall, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can always get back up and just continue to keep on going. And I think that that's something that I learned throughout time. Like, I've had multiple conversations with my family alone after, deciding to put it down for the first time, and they were just like, look, bro, you gotta just do what you want to do. Like, if you want to talk about whatever you want to talk about, use that. Like, your name is Anything Goes with Joe for a reason. Like, use that, you know what I'm saying? Use that as motivation to just kind of just talk about whatever. It doesn't matter who listens to it. It doesn't matter if it's 5 people, 10 people. It doesn't matter if it's just one person. Like, use that and pass it on, use it as motivation to do better and stuff. And I was always just like, yeah, you know what, you're right. And I would always say that, right? But like, I never really like followed through with it. So when I like finally took the initiative to just be like, okay, like, this is what I'm going to do, this is how I'm going to do it, I came up with like a whole plan. Then it became easier because I'm like, okay, you know what, this isn't so bad, this is actually pretty cool, and then I started playing around with the idea of just kind of coming up with different names. And then lo and behold, that's when Anything Goes with Joe came about. And it was funny because before the name Anything Goes with Joe, I was actually thinking of other different names. Like, I think the original name was going to be, what was it? Let me see. I think it was, Your Daily Cup of Joe, which I thought was pretty cool. Because, like, for those of you that don't know, Joe also means coffee. So I thought it would just be pretty cool to, like, do something like that. And thankfully, I looked it up and was able to come to the conclusion that it was already taken. Because had I just went on a whim and like just did it, I think I would have been into a lot of I would have probably gone through a lot of legal issues. So thankfully I took the time to look it up and really take time to find something that resonated with me. And then again, I was talking to my family. We were sitting at the table and stuff, and I was talking to them, and they were saying, hey, it's a good idea. I passed it on to like everybody that I knew. I kind of just pitched the idea to anybody that I knew, and just kind of seeing if that would be something that they would be willing to like, contribute in or just honestly support, really. And so with that, like, that's when I started just like bringing the idea to life. And then it was April of last year, I think it was April of last year. Excuse me. That I initially decided to decided to launch the first episode, and I thought it was pretty cool because honestly, again, it was something that was like different to me. It was something that was very different, and I just knew that I had to do something, right? And so like, yeah, we came up with the idea of the name. We put it together, and then I launched the first episode, and it did well. You know what I mean? But at that moment, though, I feel like it was at that moment when I realized that, not realized, but I think that I wasn't fully ready for it. I think, you know what I mean? Because like when you do something like that, it takes a lot of commitment, it takes a lot of dedication, a lot of time, a lot of effort to just like put everything together. Like this alone right here, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. Like it takes so much effort because you have to stay motivated. It's a constant grind. You know what I mean? Like anything else in life, anything you really want to do in life is gonna be a grind. And I think that I knew that. I knew that it was going to be some sort of grind, but I don't think I was mentally ready for it, if that makes sense. And so when I took the step back from it, and I just kind of like just really thought it out and just kind of like asked myself like, hey, is this something that you really want to do? Because I told myself that this is what I want to do, but then like when it came down to it, I wasn't producing the way I should, right? And so I just had to really like think about it. I had to really like tell myself like, hey, bro, like listen, if you want to do anything in life, not only do you have to do it right now, but also, hey, like you gotta put in the effort, you gotta put in the work. You know what I mean? Because it's not gonna happen overnight. And it's not that I did, it's not that I didn't know that. I think I obviously I did know that, but like, I like I said, I don't think I was ready for it. So lo and behold, like fast forward, it's been 8 months I think since the last episode had initially, or the first episode, or sorry, no, the last episode had initially came out. So I was like, you know what, like I was looking at that and I was just like, man, there's no reason why I shouldn't do this. And again, talking to my family was like a big thing because they kind of helped me get back into it. And it was cool, man. It was hella cool. And so I say all that to say, man, sometimes when you want to do something, like you might not know where it's gonna take you, you might not know how you're gonna get there, you might not know how long it's gonna take, but at the end of the day, it's just making that initial effort to just be like, okay, you know what, I want to do this. This is what I'm gonna do, and nobody's gonna tell me different, you know. And I remember too, like what it felt like to make that first episode, and I think that like that's what I'm kind of feeling right now all over again. And like that's how you really enjoy something, when you can take a break from it for as long as I have, but still go back to it and like be like, damn, this is what it is. And this is what I love. You still have the same, it still affects you the same way. I think that that's what makes it really fucking cool, like, and so with that being said, like, just make sure that, whatever it is that you want to do, just go for it, dude. Like, you might have to take a break, you might have to step away from it for a little bit, but if it's meant for you, what is meant for you will always, come back to it. Would always, you always find your way back to it. And I think that that's the bigger picture. So yeah, I think, I don't know, man. Like with that being said, like, I don't know. I think that, with me, again, as I mentioned before, I am actually, oh, I don't know if I did mention this before, but if I did it, I'm sorry. But I actually am one that is disabled myself. I have a condition or a diagnosis. I said this. Fuck. I'll just edit it up. Yeah, but I have a diagnosis, known as cerebral palsy and stuff. So, it's the thing is that with my condition, dude, it's like for everybody it's different because you might have people that have like similar cases or like the same, I guess, diagnosis in quotations, like, but the thing is that it affects everybody differently, right? Like sometimes it's more severe, like more severe cases, meaning like you don't have like you don't have feelings in your legs, or like you don't have no control over your body because your body spasms a lot and stuff, or like sometimes it's just more like it's there, but it's not like as severe because there's, like I said, there's levels to it. So sometimes, like, I've met people, excuse me, that have had like severe cases and stuff, and they, and then I met people that have the same kind of case as me, so it's like, it's literally just like one of those things that's just like, not only is it evolving, but at the same time, it's like it's case by case, you know. So, but I never really looked at my disability as a disability because I was always surrounded by people that would always like, they never really made me feel like as if I had any limitations. It was always just like, yeah, I had a different way of doing things, but it wasn't like as if I was like dumb. You know what I mean? They didn't make me feel dumb. If anything, they pushed me to do better, and they pushed me to do things for myself. And I think that without that, I wouldn't have been able to have the confidence that I have today. You know what I mean? Like, and that's one of the crazy things about it, because sometimes like you don't really know the situation until you kind of just like go through it. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to kind of like grow up and then kind of figure out how I was gonna go about it, and like how I was gonna let it affect me, because a lot of times that's what it comes down to, is how you will let your situation affect you. Like if you don't let it affect you in a negative way and you use it to be positive, I think that that's the biggest lesson you could take away from it. And I think that that's something that I decided to do. Like I didn't let that be something that was like, oh, like you're not worth anything because you're disabled. Like, no, I mean, I've had people tell me that, believe it or not, and it's crazy. Like, it sucks, but like, at the end of the day, like, it's up to you to, let that define you, or use it as, confidence to rise. So it's like that's what I chose to do. I chose to just kind of like, I didn't let it become me. I let it, I used what I was going through and created a light, for you guys, so that way, anybody that's going through this currently, like, they can go ahead and know how to get through it. It's a kind of like I think of it kind of like a guide, or like a big ass diary. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. Cause I'm not really good at writing down my feelings and really expressing myself. But I think that doing this, it also like it helps with that. You know what I'm saying? Cause I'm not only helping myself, but I'm also helping other people that might be going through something similar. So with that being said, like that's why I do what I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's just crazy how life works, man. But I think that in the long run, what I want is just to be able to look back on this if I ever need it. You know what I'm saying? And be like, damn, okay, like that same mindset that I had at this moment is the same mindset that I gotta carry on. For as long as I live, really, because it's like sometimes when you go through like anxiety, or when you go through like depression or whatever it may be, like it's hard to really keep that mindset. But when you have things like this where you can look back on and be like, okay, like I got this. You know what I'm saying? Because I was good before, so I can get back there. You know what I mean? Like that's one of the things that like I have to just constantly remind myself of. Because it's not like I just developed this overnight. I definitely been dealing with this for a while, but I think that I just think that life has its way of helping you get through it. And a big part of it is just who you surround yourself with. So yeah, man, with that being said, like, I don't know, man, like, I just wanna like show you guys, you know what I'm saying? This is possible, man. Anything is possible, bro. Like, this is all we got right here. All we got is each other at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Whether we know each other, whether we're related or whatever, like, this is all we got right here. You know what I'm saying? So, like, the least we can do is try to figure out how to get through it together. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the bigger picture, I think, because it's like we're not always in a situation where we can just, like, where we grow up with parents or people that can be influential to us. So it's like, that's why we have to take it upon ourselves to be our biggest influence. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. Like I said, doing this, what I'm doing now is something that I think not only helps me, but I think it also helps other people too. Just because, I don't know, man. It's just like a different vibe. It's something that you have to. I feel like everybody learns this at their own time. And I don't know, man. Like, it's easy to say, like, oh, things will get better. It's easy to say, like, oh, don't give up. But it's like, when you have the mindset of, like, just wanting to be better, waking up every day with a purpose, you know what I mean? Like, that's where it really changes, Like, I have so many people in my life that that I look up to, and that I look like, yeah, basically like like basically I look up to them. You know what I mean? So it's like, and you have people in your life that love you, right? So you gotta wake up. If not, for nothing else, wake up for them. You know what I mean? Change for them. Do make your life better for them. Um, I don't know, man. Like it's. I feel like it's one of those things where it's just like you can't just give up. You know what I mean? You can't. Like, it's so easy to do that. Who wants to do that? You know what I mean? Like, you have so much more to give in your life. Like, just do it. You know what I'm saying? Just do it, and just be the best you can be at the end of the day. Like, we all fuck up, man. We all have our things. We all go through our own situation. We all live a life that we're just trying to like make it. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, do something with it though. You know what I'm saying? Don't waste that opportunity. Like, there's so many people in your position right now. There's so many people in your life, or just people that you might meet over time, that would love to be in your situation, that would love to have shoes on their feet, clothes on their back, a fucking place to call home and shit. Like, the fact that a lot of us have that, I think we take it for granted, and that's what fucks us up mentally in the long run, because it's like, we sit here and we complain about the things that we go through, but we don't do anything to kind of get us out of that situation, like, and it's like the things that we have today, we look at it as so small, but then you go to these other countries and like places in the world where people ain't got nothing, bro. They don't know what the heck they're gonna do to eat. They don't know what they're gonna wear. They have nothing to wear. Like, they have nobody that loves them. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just there's so much bigger things in life to be, appreciative about, and just to be thankful for, than to focus on all the negativity that you know what I'm saying, that is brought out to this world. And I think the biggest thing alone is social media. Like, social media creates this like stigma of like, that gives people the idea that they have to be a certain way to fulfill validation. And it's just like, dude, what you see in the media is a lot of those people, man. They're struggling just like you and I, but they sit there and put on this persona because they feel like if they fake it long enough, it might just be real. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's crazy, bro. Like, you really just have to understand that whatever you see online, or whatever you see in this, magazines or whatever, like, all that shit, bro, that shit comes with a price. You know what I mean? And a lot of people, they're not ready for that. You know what I'm saying? They're not ready for what comes with it. They just want to see the results, So they think that by putting on a show and by putting, all this shit out there, that it's going to make, like, everything better. And in reality, like, it might make it better for the moment, but that's all it is. It's just momentarily shit. Like, it's not going to be something that like, it's not going to be something that, you can look back on and then, like, be like, damn, like, I did this. Like, you want whatever, like, what I'm trying to say is, like, whatever you do in your life, you want to make sure that it's going to be, that's gonna have longevity, meaning like it's gonna stick. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to just fill your life up with momentarily shit, with materialistic shit, and then it all go away, and then you don't have nothing to show for it. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of these people that be faking it, right? They'll get all these cars, and they'll get all the nice whips, and they'll get all the nice clothes and jewelry and whatnot, and then it's like, but now what do you have to show for it? What do you have to leave for your kids? You know what I mean? Like, what do you have to leave? What do your kids have to leave for their kids? You want something that's gonna last, something that's gonna stick. That's always gonna be able to rebuild itself. And I don't know, maybe that's just my mentality. Maybe that's just my mindset or whatever. But I think that you really just have to. You gotta stand for something, or fall for anything. That's what Kendrick Lamar says, actually. Kendrick Lamar said that in one of his songs. He said, stand for something or fall for anything. So it's like, and that's just what you decide to put in your mind. It just comes to show, like, what you decide to put in your mind really is going to be, it's going to kind of determine what it is that you end up doing with your life. Like, I don't know, man. Like, maybe I'm thinking too deep on this. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. But I kind of got off on a tangent, and I'm sorry. But I I don't know. I just think it's important to express yourself. I think it's important to find new levels and unlock new chapters in your life, because at the end of the day, that's what's gonna keep, that's what's gonna make the mark in the world. You can have everything. You can have it all. Anything materialistic you can have, right? But at the end of the day, man, like, if you're not using your platform for the right reason, which should be to preach to the young kids, to be able to set an example. Because again, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of us grew up with no example. You know what I'm saying? Other than the ones we set for ourselves or whatever, or through our siblings. So it's like, use this chance, bro. Use this moment to just go after it, man. Really, and that's all I try to preach, man. But sorry for going on a tangent again, but this is Anything Goes with Joe. Okay, the podcast where we not only talk about anything and everything. So I'm gonna use that, and I'm gonna live by that, because that's what I believe. So it's like, with that being said, man, this is just a little glimpse of what it's like, what it is that I'm gonna be talking about, and I think that I think it's gonna take off in the long run. I think it's gonna be something that sticks. This is me doing what I think is gonna stick. And even if it doesn't, you know what I'm saying? It's still something that you can look back on, whether it be years from now or whatever, and be like, damn, you know what? I remember when he said that. Like, this really helped me out. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's all I try to do. I don't try to compete with all the big names and all that stuff. That's not what this is about, man. This is bigger than that. This is something that I think everybody should try to do at least once in their life, or at least do something in the sense of just making sure that people got a staple to come back to, man. And I said this a lot of times just now, but like, that's really what it's all about, man. So I don't know, man. With this podcast right here, bro, like, I'm gonna have guests on here. I'm gonna give you guys the opportunity to come on here. Those of you that support me and stuff like that, I'm gonna give you guys the opportunity to come up on here and just kind of share your opinion and stuff. I'm also gonna be reading in the comment section as well, and just kind of talking about you guys' opinions, whatever you guys put down there. You know what I mean? So that way you guys can feel involved and stuff like that, and we can interact. But I don't know, man. I definitely think that. I guess just to wrap it up, I would say that, the main focus of this podcast is really, as I said this in the beginning, I know, but I really want to elaborate the fact that, this is genuinely the safest place you could come to, bro. Like, whether it be, like I said, whether it be, you battling depression or whatever it may be, anxiety, whatever, dude, like, this is a place for you. This is a place where you guys can interact with each other in the comment section. This is where you guys can just kind of let it all out. You know what I mean? And I know this first episode was kind of like all over the place, and I didn't really, like, I guess you could say I didn't really speak on, everything that I wanted to speak on. Where are we at right now? Let's see. Let's take a time check. We're at 28 minutes right now. But you know what? I feel like this is a perfect example right here. Okay, so check it out. Like, I'm thinking that, not a lot of you are even going to make it this far, right? I'm thinking a lot of you are just going to click off the video because it's so freaking long. But then I realized that this is a podcast for a reason. Like, podcasts go on for hours, right? But I'm thinking to myself that I don't have enough, like, I don't know. I'm just not entertaining enough. So I always just, like, want to cut shit short, you know what I mean? And like, this is a perfect example, and I love this moment in particular, because this is like me being as real as it gets, you know what I mean? I don't have a team behind me, like, where everything is like scripted. I don't have, like, a management or anything of that nature. This is just me being me, as I always am and as I always will be, you know what I mean? And so it's like, to do this at a level that I am, with nobody behind me and nobody like marketing me or anything of that nature, that's the crazy part about it. Like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is literally just me. I'm literally, if I'm being 100% honest with you guys, I am fucking wheeling around in a Staples, bro, local Staples, just talking to you guys. And it's crazy because, like, again, I don't have a setup. I don't have, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is just me being as real as it gets, hoping that it can resonate with somebody. You know what I mean? So man, that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't take much, man. We spend all this money on all these phones and stuff and all this materialistic shit, but we don't use it for what it really could be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can tell you, bro. Anybody in the comment section will let you know how bad I am with phones, bro. I went through 4 phones in a matter of a year, bro, and it was all like good shit. Like, it was all, iPhone 12s, it was iPhone 11s, and probably gonna be the iPhone 13 soon. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, but to me, honestly though, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this. I know I am, and I'm ready for it. But like, I spend all this money on these phones. I lose these phones, right? Like, I recently just lost a phone. You know, recently it was the iPhone 13. I was in a lift, bro, and this guy, right? This guy, he freaking basically, it was my fault. Lo and be like, I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not gonna blame it on him. This was my fault. Like, I literally, so because let me tell you. So because I'm in a wheelchair, right? I gotta put everything down to be able to get into my chair. After I get to where I need to be, right? So I take a lift because I'm going to school, and excuse me, I go ahead and I get into. Excuse me, sorry. I get into the lift, and I go ahead and I put my stuff down, and we're chopping it up, me and this guy. I don't know this guy for anything, right? And I'm chopping it up with him, and I tell him, like, yeah, he's asking me about school and all that jazz. We get to our destination, after maybe 45 minutes, I'd say, right? I'm getting out the car. At this point, I'm late, right? Like, I'm already late to class. My class started at 11:20. It's like 11:35, so I'm trying to hurry up, right? And I'm getting out the car. I get all my stuff, right? Or at least I thought I got all my stuff, right? And I'm getting out the car, and I take off. I didn't even think for a second. I just took off because I started talking to one of my buddies. They had stopped me on the way to on the way of getting out the car. So I got caught up in the just talking with them, and then next thing you know, I freaking lose my I left my phone in the car, right? So, but at the time, I get out the car, right, and I'm chopping it up with the dude. I told the driver, I even told the driver, like, yo, have a good day, whatever. Like, that's just what I do, right? And so I'm thinking I got everything, and I look down right before I get inside my class, and I realized that I didn't have my phone, and I'm like, oh, fuck, And so it's like, I go home, and I fucking, I try to get a hold of the dude, basically, and at this point, I don't have a phone, so I'm trying to use other phones and stuff like that. I'm trying to find other means of communicating with the dude, right? And shout out to my brother. He was a big help. He actually helped me try to get in contact with the dude. We actually got in contact with the dude. This is the crazy part, okay? So we get in contact with the guy, right? After multiple times of trying to communicate, we get in contact with this dude, right? And he goes over the fact that he understands the importance of me having my device, whatever, right? So we go ahead and we're like, okay, cool. This guy's a good guy. He'll return the device, because he's like, oh, just hit me up. He gave us a number to hit him up at, to go ahead and try to figure out the situation. So we go ahead and we hit him up. We reach out to him, and we tell him, okay, look, if you can't, drop off the device, if you can't drop off the device in person, you can go ahead and mail it or whatever. Cause how today is, today's generation, you always gotta worry about everybody, everybody's intentions and kind of things of that nature. So, I was, we had set it up and everything, to try to figure it out. And, he's like, okay, he understood. He said he understood, right? This is what he said. He's like, I understand what the importance of what it is for him to have his device, meaning me, and he's like, I get off on this time, you know what I'm saying? Just let me know. And apparently, he told me, allegedly, that he lives up here somewhere. He told me that he lived up here, basically. And then, so I'm like, okay, I go ahead and, we exchange it or whatever. Like I said, I told him what's up. And then he goes and he's like, well, we reach out to him, right? Because he had said, okay, I get off at 3:30 or whatever. I don't know what the situation was exactly, but he basically said he got off at a certain time. So we said, okay, just meet us over here, at a local spot. And so he's like, "Look, well, actually, he didn't even reply, right? So we pretty much like went out there on a whim, which is our fault. Yeah, I would say that definitely. But at the same time, it's like you can't tell us that you're willing to give us the device back and then not give it back. So basically, like we went out there, we stood out there for like 2 hours trying to figure out what the situation was, how we're gonna get the device back and stuff. And then, he never hit us up. He never hit us back. He never followed up. We contacted Lyft again to try to figure out the situation like once more. But Lyft is so bad, bro. They didn't even really help us do anything, bro. The only thing they did was help us get the number of the dude, but they didn't like tell him like, hey, if since you have the guy's device, like give it back to him. The dude had cameras in his car. He had like 4 or 8 cameras in his car. He had a lot of cameras, so it's not like he didn't know that I left it in there. He must have looked back on the cameras after the day and realized that I had left it in there. And then not to mention we also reached out to him. So it's like he knew, he just didn't, I guess, care enough to give it back, whatever. And so that was like a whole thing. But it's like, I don't know. I guess like in that sense, like looking at it now, I'm just like I spent all this money on these phones and stuff like that, and then situations like this happen. But I don't. The thing that's bad about me, as I mentioned earlier, is that like I don't really put a lot of like care into these materialistic shits, and so it's my fault in that sense, because I should care about it, especially if I'm gonna be spending that much money. You know what I mean? On a constant level, because again, it was like 5 phones I think in total that I had lost, and so it's like, looking back on it, like, yeah, I'm a dumbass for, not only not taking care of my shit, but then at the same time, if you're gonna, for somebody to steal from somebody that's disabled, I think that's even more fucked up, because it's like, he knew rightfully that that's what the situation was, and it's like, it's so messed up, dude, like, on many levels, but, I don't know, man, like, I just think it's crazy, so, it took me a while. It took me a while to get everything back in order, but now I did, and so this is why I'm doing this. Just to, I got to do something with it, man. And I don't know. It's pretty crazy. But I guess it's just life's way of teaching you a lesson. Sometimes I have to just be more mindful. It's not that I'm not appreciative of what I have. It's just I don't value it the way I should. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess you can say in some ways I take it for granted, and as a matter of fact, you can say that entirely, that I take it for granted, and that's completely my fault, nobody else's, so use this moment right here, that I'm telling you to learn from my mistakes. That's all I try to do, you know what I'm saying, is just help y'all learn from my mistakes. And so that way y'all don't, do the same thing that I've done. For future episodes and stuff like that, throughout the course of time, you guys will also be getting to know me on a higher level. You know what I'm saying? Again, this is just kind of like the intro to everything. Kind of just, telling you guys what I'm about, giving you guys the opportunity to get to know me and stuff. So, yeah, man, with that being said, dude, like, make sure to just check it out. Check me out one time for the one time, Let me know how you guys feel in the comment section. Let me know if you guys like these story times. Let me know what I can do better. I know, again, I can't express this enough. And the reason why I do this is because I need to know that I gotta do better. But, like, I know this podcast was kind of all over the place, you know what I'm saying? But this is just the first one. So you gotta go through the rough drafts before you can actually do something, that's worth sticking, but also too, like I said, I like it because it's so raw, so yeah, man, with that being said, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in, bro. I hope this wasn't too long, 38 minutes currently, and if nothing else, I hope you guys have an amazing Friday. I'm about to actually go catch a movie, so I'm pretty excited about that. I don't know what it is going to be yet, but I just decided to take this day to just kind of do something for me, because I feel like I don't do that enough, So, this episode, I'm hoping it'll be up by, actually, well, you guys know when it's up, because it's already going to be you guys are going to be able to listen to it. But anyways, man, I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. But again, I'm glad because this is as raw as it gets. I want you guys to be able to, see the process and stuff. So, with that being said, make sure to leave a comment down below if you guys enjoyed it. If you guys made it this far into the podcast, I want you guys to leave. Let me see. If you guys made it this far on the podcast, let me know by leaving a. Let me know by leaving the car emoji down below if you guys made it this far in the podcast, just so I can see the ones that really stick around. You know what I'm saying? Let me know by leaving a car emoji. You know what I'm saying? And we will be doing giveaways in the future. We will be doing post notification shout outs and all that jazz. Thank you guys for tuning in this long, and thank you. This is a sincerely thank you to all my family for supporting me and everything that I do, and just giving me the motivation to get back on it and do better. So shout out to y'all, man. And that's gonna be the first post notification shout out, I guess, huh? But yeah. With that being said, guys, have a great weekend, man. I love you guys. And until next time, I would definitely. My goal is to put out maybe like 2 episodes a week. So my target dates would probably be like Wednesday and Friday. I'm thinking like maybe Wednesday or Friday. I think to kind of start it off, I think would be pretty cool. It honestly just depends. Don't hold me to it, okay? Like I'm still trying to figure this out, but just know that you're gonna have at least 2 uploads a week. So yeah, man. Just please, let me know in the comment section what you guys trying to hear, what you guys trying to figure out, what you guys wanna, what you guys need help with or whatever. I'm always here, And yeah, peace.